Hello guys, welcome to AimITNow.com. We are the fastest growing institute in Houston which offers all the IT courses. Today we are going to talk about what is quality assurance, what is quality analyst. We always hear people talking about, oh, my friend got into IT by doing QA and he's making a lot of money. He's doing this, he's doing that. I don't even have an IT experience. Can I do QA? Matter of fact, what is QA? If QA is easy, can I do it? And how can I get a job? And in QA, what I have to learn? Do I need to know coding or I don't have to know coding? What exactly is QA? That's what I'm going to cover in this class. I'm going to tell you what tools are needed for QA. On top of it, firstly, I'm going to explain you what exactly is QA. It's not like a rocket science or that we cannot do it. If you know how to browse Google, how to get on a Facebook, you can become a QA. The only thing will be required is your determination and your goal in your life, what you want to do. So we'll start. Before I start, I will go through what I'm going to cover in this class, and then at the end of the class we can go over the questions frequently asked. So we'll go over what is SDLC. Don't get worried what I'm talking here. We'll go in detail step by step very slowly. Just listen to me and most of your answers will be clear during the presentation. SDLC, we will talk in detail, not too much, but I will show you what exactly it is. It is nothing but software development lifecycle. We'll talk more in detail. In order to get into IT, first you have to know what exactly or how exactly software industry works. We will go over it. Next part is I'm going to explain what is QA. First you have to know what is software industry, then I will talk to you about the roles in the software industry. Third one is I'm going to even explain you to get the grasp of QA, like how exactly QA come into picture, why QA and all that. And also I'm going to explain you what are the types of QA. The way you have doctors, right? Cardiologist, nephrologist, neurologist. Similarly, there are different types of QA. There are different type of roles in IT. So we are going to go over it. And I'm going to tell you when exactly QA is hired and when his services are required. So as I was telling, what is SDLC? Why do we even care about SDLC? That would be the question. Why in the QA class, why he's even talking about SDLC? Let me explain you before you make all your thought process. SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle or System Development Lifecycle. Why we care? Because before knowing anything, even if you go for a doctor, right, first you have to know what exactly is, you have to understand what is biology, what is anatomy, how body works, right? You cannot just go and start doing the surgery. Similarly, first you have to understand how software industry works. Does it follow step-by-step process? How they built it? Are there any requirements from the customer, and what not? So SDLC is nothing but a framework that describes the activities performed at each stage of software development process. So it's nothing but what happens is when you're building a house, right? First you go over the internet looking for it. Okay, what location it is, where I want to buy the house, what is my budget, do I really need a house? All those questions comes into picture, right? Similarly, in IT, before anything comes up, an idea comes up, right? Okay, I want to build a tollway industry. I want to create a software in which people will come and pay, and I give them the services, right? So for that, a customer comes to a company, he gives his requirement. Then once the requirements are confirmed, then they are going to design as per the customer. After the design is complete, they are going to code it. They are going to write the code, or they are going to develop that application or that software what customer wanted. Once the software is completed, somebody has to test it to make sure whatever customer requested is exactly the same. After everything is done, testing is finished, then you go live or you go into production, or basically customer can use it. It's for the customer, right? So it's nothing but it's a step-by-step process. That's what SDLC stands for, System Development Life Cycle. So how in human life cycle is, similarly SDLC is for software. Similarly, even in auto industry, right? They design, they take the requirement and all that good stuff. So we have to know SDLC, because unless we don't understand SDLC, we cannot understand where QA stands, why we need QA and all that. So once you go into this class of SDLC, we are going to explain you in each and every stage. Like for requirement, right? Who's the person involved during the requirement phase? Does QA takes a requirement, or there is another person associated to that? And when we design, who's responsible for that? And when we are coding, who's responsible for writing the code? What is the name of a person, and what questions we should ask? And when exactly QA comes, who's going to test? Is it business analyst going to test, architecture going to test, or who's going to test the code? So all those questions will be answered if you take our SDLC session, which is only $20. Later on in the session I will let you know, and plus we are giving a lot of freebies. You will get all from our website once you sign in and give us your email ID, and we'll email you back. Okay, so SDLC is clear. It's nothing but software development lifecycle, and we will go in detail in later on. So $100 question, what is QA? I know people will be thinking, oh, my friend told me we do testing, this kind of testing, that kind of testing. But have anyone told you why do we do testing? What is the purpose of being testing? And what matter of fact, what exactly QA stands for? Any one of you? So let me give you the answer. There are many ways people use this word: quality analyst, quality assurance analyst. So it depends on person to person, and basically there is one by the book definition which I really don't care, because my job as a QA is what I'm going to test, right? So definition doesn't matter, the thing matter is the essence. So let's see the standard definition of quality assurance or quality analyst. Let's see. IT quality assurance is a process designed to give management and the customer confidence that an organization will deliver quality information, technology, product and services. That is kind of too technical. I think there is too much verbiage in my sentence. Basically the job of QA is to make sure the application is working as per the client's need. So what is the job of a QA? QA job is to make sure, as I said earlier also, if customer requests something, if he requests a remote with 4 buttons, we make sure that 4 buttons are there in the remote, right? That's a job of a quality assurance. So once the product is ready, we do our testing. Similarly in the software, for example, if you go on a Facebook, right, there is username and password, And as a tester, once the username password functionality or the page whatever you are on is ready, we go and verify that any user cannot log in with incorrect password, right? If you have abc.gmail.com and you put 123, should it work? It might if it's your password. If you go for CDE and again you put 123, you should not be able to log into that account because the password is different for that. So basically we are verifying that incorrect password should not allow user to get into the application or into the software or into the Facebook, whatever you can say. It's named differently. Some people say application, some people say software, but in IT industry we use application word more frequently. So my point here is quality analyst is nothing but we verify, we make sure, we are the gatekeepers, we are responsible for quality assurance, quality analyst. We make sure the quality is maintained for the customer throughout the process. So do not underestimate the power of QA. If as a QA we say this product is crap, this product is not working as expected, it will not go to production. Customer cannot use it until unless we gives a heads up. So we have a lot of power over what we are doing. It's not just QA. You can make it technical, you can make it automation, you can make it manual. We'll go over that in detail later on. So quality assurance job is to make sure the customer's requirements are met. So another question is, we always think about why even we need QA, right? We as a regular person outside the IT industry, that's what they used to think during .com era, which was in 2000, I think 2001 when the market crashed, right? So just before that, what people used to do is there is a person who will take a requirement. He is known as a business analyst who talks to a customer. Okay, you want me to create a remote or you want me to create a Facebook? Okay, give me the requirement. For example, Mark Zuckerberg comes and he says, oh, I want to create a software in which people can share, people can like, and people can communicate with each other, day-to-day life thing. So he gives his requirement, right? They can like, they can share, they can do all the good stuff. So the person who takes the requirement, who writes in a book, his name is business analyst, right? And then he takes that requirement and he gives it to coder. There is one more person in the middle who's a designer. We'll skip that for now. So he goes to a developer or a coder and he says, dude, can you please create me a Facebook application? These are the requirements. We need people to like it. He needs people to share it and all the good stuff. And he goes and he codes and everything, all is well. Coder says everything is working as expected. Business analyst says I have taken the requirement, everything is perfect, we can give this application to customer, it's ready. Customer goes, once you give the customer the application, he takes in, and as soon as he logs in, everything is not working, like most of the part is not working. Why? Basically it fails. So what happened? Why it failed? It failed because there was no tester involved. Developer, if for example, if you draw a picture or if you clean your car, you will say I have cleaned it the best way I can and this is the best, right? You will never say, oh, I haven't cleaned this and that. Or you will never say, oh no, my drawing is really bad. Similarly, when coders write their code, they will never expect or they will not accept that my software sucks. I have written the best code and it has no problem whatsoever. And business analyst says, well, I have taken the right requirement and I have given to developer. It's not my fault. Developer has created something wrong. So what actually is happening is there are no checks and balance. Business analyst is taking his own requirement, developer is creating his own stuff. Nothing is matching. End result, product is crap. so they lost money, right? So there at that location or that position, if there was a QA or quality analyst whose job is to make sure whatever business analyst has taken the requirement should match with what developer has created. If it's not matching, your software is not good. So basically there was no checks and balance done by a tester, or there was no tester at all, right? So role of a quality analyst is very, very, very crucial in IT industry. Without them, I think there is no way we can have a quality product, especially in this era. The recent example is healthcare, right? When the Obamacare healthcare website came up online, it actually crashed. Why? Because testing was not done properly. Maybe they were crunching time, and the product what they have created, or the software, was very bad. So we really have to take into consideration the quality analyst job is demanding, it's easy, on the same time it is interesting. Who doesn't like picking up mistakes? Everyone like picking up mistakes. So basically what QA does, I'll tell you in short. As a QA, your job is to find mistakes in the code, and you have to find mistakes in the code the way and compare it to the requirement. If requirement say we need a red button on my remote, developers should create a red button, not the green button, right? So we basically collaborate both the things, and we make sure the product is the best we can find. And if the product has red button, we will raise an issue, or we will raise a bug to the management that requirement was for green button but developer created red button, therefore we cannot go into production, or we cannot give it to customer because product is incorrect. That's a simple term. We can talk about this in detail, in more technical. I'm talking at very low level, and I'm not talking by books, I'm talking by experience. So try to understand what exactly is QA, okay? Technical part we will cover in the next sessions. So I will give you certain examples when the QA was not involved, what actually have happened in reality also. So as you can see, this was the crash in 90s. What happened was Bill Gates actually went on, and they were talking about their server, and what happened is as soon as he went on the screen, it crashed. Crash means blue screen is not good. You see all that? That's Unix script, or that's in the back end. He's looking at the code. So what might have happened is the developer has done his part, analyst has done his part, but the testing was not done. Similarly, when on Jan 15, 1990, around 60,000 AT&T long distance customer tried to place long distance call as usual. So basically 60,000 people were calling, and they were not getting any information back. So basically AT&T thought there is an somebody has hacked their application and all that, and people are not able to get in. But later on they found out there was a fault in a software. If there was a quality analyst, this might have not happened. Why? Because the fault would have been found just before the before application would have been used by the customer. So job of a QA is very serious. Job of a QA is very fun because everyone likes to pick mistake, and it's so interesting, right? Somebody codes something and you find mistake. Okay, as per this is it should be, and it is not this, you know. So it's very interesting as you look, and it's easy to survive. Once you get a job, it's very interesting and very high paying job also. So another questions will come is, what are the types of QA? There are two types of QA. Now the percentage has changed. I would say there are only maybe 80% of manual tester. So there are two types of QA: manual tester and automation tester. What do you mean by manual tester? Manual tester means you will go online, you will click on this button, that button with your fingers, right? You are manually doing the steps. Automation means you are actually writing a code and code is doing that. For example, when I log into Facebook using username and password, I basically type username, basically type password, and then click on sign in, right? That is manual. And then comes the automation. In automation, what do you do? Basically, you write code on the side by entering all the username, password inside the code and telling the computer to automatically insert that information into the username area and the password area. So this time what do you do? Basically you write a code on the side and you click on play. As soon as you click on play or run, it automatically inserts username and password into the Facebook account and automatically clicks on sign in. So that's how you get in. So automation is more of a programming. What do you mean by automation? What are the tools used by automation? The most popular tool so far is QTP, Quick Test Professional. It is owned by HP, and the another trending is Selenium. So Selenium is run on different language. We will talk what is the language. Language is nothing but how you communicate among the software. So there are different languages. Selenium automation tool is made upon Java. You might have heard about Java. If you're especially from India, everyone talks about Java. It's little complex to learn, but if you practice hard enough, you will learn. QTP is little easier than Selenium, and it is also high paying. Nowadays people are also looking for automation testers, but manual testers will always be in demand because you cannot depend on automation tool forever. Computer can also make mistake. They do not have they cannot think, right? Whatever you code, that's what you're gonna test. But in manual you test differently. There are different types of testing. We will get into that detail later on. So the next question is, when are QAs hired? They are hired during implementation of new project. For example, if I'm starting AimITNow, I hire somebody. During that time I'm going to hire a quality analyst as well. Another time you are hired is upgrading. Upgrading means, for example, if I have Windows 7, right, I want to upgrade it to Windows 10. So I will hire a tester to verify that whatever was working on Windows 7 is working as expected on Windows 10. Why? Because a lot of software has different configuration. That configuration can mess up your previous application. It will not work on Windows 10. So they hire QA to verify everything's working as expected. Third thing is migration. Migrating a code from A to B. We'll get in detail. You don't have to know right now, but most important time you are hired is implementation, upgrade, and support. Support is basically once your software is in production or used by consumers, they come across some small bugs, right? I'm not able to click on likes, so that's a production bug by Facebook. So they have a 24 hours window to fix that issue. So what they do is basically they have a QA team in place, and developers in place who will fix the code right away, and they will have testers to test it quickly that like button is really working as expected after the fix, and they again promote that code into the production, or the consumer can again use it. So during the support time we are hired during upgrade and implementation. So what are the languages? If you see someone's resume, you will see I've worked on this platform, that platform. Platform is nothing but what language you have used. Right now, currently I'm talking in English, right? Similarly, people talk in Hindi, Chinese, Marathi, Spanish, so many languages. Similarly, computer also communicate in different languages. So there is Java, which is why it is popular. What is Java? We will talk that in detail. Java is nothing but a object oriented programming language. It is an ocean by itself. There are developers specially for that. So, and it is free, so it is popular. Free is good, right? So that is popular. Another is .NET. It is owned by Microsoft. It is again very interesting, but they have to pay certain amount of money to use .NET. So it is not that popular, but it is used by most of the oil companies in Houston. Another is SAP, CRM, etc. So there are various platforms we can, as we progress, as we have projects, we can talk on that. So the next part, it's all about money, right? What is money? How much would I make if I'm hired as a QA? If you're hired as a QA, this is from Indeed.com. Basically, I have pulled out a snapshot, and this is what it shows, that a QA analyst can make 80,000 easily if he stays in one company for more than 2 years or 3 years. But initially, if you have zero experience and you're going as an intern, you will start with 45, then you will go to 60, and you stay a little longer. 75 to 80K is not a big deal, and it's an easy job. 8 to 5 job. Go home, sleep, and come back again. It's not a headache job, and anybody can do it. So now the question is, what are the tools used by QA? What do you mean by tool anyway? Tool means, for example, if I want to type anything in school, right, I will use Microsoft Word. That is nothing but a tool. Similarly, Excel is a tool. In QA, we use that as a tool. Some people might argue, oh, it's not a tool, it's just a Microsoft Office, blah, blah, blah. It depends, how you want to use it. It's your perspective. So I want to explain what is tool. Tool is nothing but with which you will perform your testing, what you will use for your testing. Similarly, tool means if there is a car, right? I'm using screwdriver, this and that. That's a tool to fix the car. Similarly, in order to test a software, there are different softwares which we will use to test the software. We will go one by one in this presentation. The first tool, the most important tool ever made for QA, and very interesting and very easy to use, is Quality Center. Now they have changed the name to ALM, Application Lifecycle Management. It's not a big difference, just buttons here and there has been added. But Quality Center is nothing but a central repository. What do you mean by central repository? We will go in detail later on, but this tool is used, for example, I'm testing a software and I found a bug. Bug is nothing but a problem with something is not working, right? So if I found a bug, I want to put that information about a bug in. I want to record that bug information that I have. When I was clicking on this, it was not working. So you have to keep that somewhere, right? You create folders and you keep it in your computer. Similarly, that bug information, you can keep it in Quality Center. You can write test cases. Now question will come, what is a test case? Test case we will talk in detail, but this is a central repository used by QA, without which there is no QA. Like people use Excel sheet, this and that, to record their information, this and that, but this is used throughout most of the companies will use this. Another tool we'll go over is SQL. We will learn what is database. We will learn what SQL stands for. We will learn inner join, outer join, select statement, DML, DDL, all the good stuff we will learn. Why do we need QA? Why do we need SQL? We already using Quality Center, right? Quality Center is more of a folder oriented. Basically, we are keeping our records in there. What are we testing, how we are testing, what are the issues found, requirements, defects, everything will be in Quality Center. But database is nothing but okay, if I put my username and password, right, it will store in some container. So database is nothing but a container. So if I want to pull out information out of a container, I'm going to use SQL. SQL is nothing but a communication between the containers. They communicate with the software. So my Facebook has a container in the back, and that container, if it's want to talk to the Facebook, SQL language is used. The way we say Java, we say .NET, the one I just talked about previously. Similarly, SQL is used for database communication with the software. So we have to use, or we have to understand SQL. If we know the SQL, or in America this is SQL, if we know SQL, then we can use any tool basically. But the tool we will cover in this class is PL SQL. It is very popular, very commonly used by people in IT industry, and you really have to know this tool. Actually not the tool, but the SQL. If you know how to do SQL, then the tool is nothing different. It's almost here and there buttons will be there, and you will figure it out easily. So we will cover Quality Center, we will cover database, SQL, and we will also learn how mobile application testing works. Since everyone knows, right, without mobile there is world is not enough without a mobile. Recently I heard there are more toothbrushes than there are more actually mobile phones than the toothbrush in the world. So you can understand how important it is. Everything is going on the mobile. So quality analyst testing is incomplete without mobile application testing. We will try to understand how to test on the mobile phone. Are we really testing on a mobile phone, or are we emulating? Are we creating a mobile like environment and testing it? We will test both ways. The things we will cover in mobile application testing is native application, what is emulator, web application, and many more. There are a lot of this is a whole class or a whole session by itself, which we will offer later on in the course. Like the way I talked about Quality Center, right? You put all your artifacts in there. Artifacts means all your files. Okay, I have tested this. This is how I tested, and these are the issues I found. And business analyst also will put his requirement into that tool. Similarly, there are different tools which we will also cover version 1, which is slightly different, but purpose is same. Everyone should know what is happening. Business analyst should know where his requirements will be there. Developer will know what are the issues being raised by quality analyst, and quality analyst will know what I have raised, what I have tested, and everything, in and out. It's nothing but again a central repository. Similarly, version 1 is one of them. It is also interesting, used by many companies, so we will cover about on that also. Now, another question people often ask is, should I go for a full-time, should I go for a contracting? Well, both of them have their perks. Full-time means you have benefits, right? You have health insurance, you have 401k, you have paid vacation. But pay is sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's salary oriented, right? Whereas contracting means basically They hire you for a purpose. Okay, I have a Facebook application requirement. I will hire a person for Facebook application. Once the Facebook application is ready, I'm going to fire him, or I'm going to lay him off, because there is no other job for him. Whereas in full time, they will hire you regardless there is Facebook application job or not. They will keep you full time. In contracting, you are paid by hours, so everything counts. Even if you work on the weekends, they'll pay you, but in full time they will not. Sometimes they say comp off. Comp off means if I work today extra, tomorrow can I take off? So it's just a trade-off. So there are various ways you can think. So what AimITNow will offer you? It will offer you quality analyst training, which will help you master the tools. We will tell you what are the survival tips if you get hired, how to survive, what should be your body language, what should be your shoulder position, what questions to ask, what questions not to ask. This class is more of a hands-on. So this is theory will be there. I will not lie to you. Initially you have to deal with 1 or 2 session theory, because unless you don't understand what is software industry, what is software methodologies, what actually happens in software industry, what's the point of understanding about QA, right? So we'll go over a theory, and then we'll go talk about tool one by one. We will help you in creating quality resume. We will even help you in the interview preparation. We'll give you bunch of questions. We will ask bunch of questions during the class. Everything will be very organized, and we will also help you with the job placement. And if you found a job, we will even help you personal one-on-one support. So we are offering a lot of things in our AimITNow. It's just you learn at your own pace, and rest assured, So think about it. Let us know. That's about it for now, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.